Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you the basics of using a contact list. The purpose of having a contacts list is to be able to put people's names, phone numbers, contact information, and just build your own address, if you will, of people that you've met, people you want to keep in communication with. Sometimes you'll meet people, you'll get business cards. You can put everything here and then discard the business card unless you want to scan that and do other things with it. But it just helps keep everything organized. And then you can look for people. So it also makes it easier to, if you remember, oh, there was a person I met at a business center, what was her name? And then you can look up and find out where you met her and what her name is. All right, so I just added in some basic information like the first name, the last name, phone number, email, how did you meet, address, city, state. The reason I break up the address and city and state is because if I'm going to be in a specific state, I may want to look up who lives there and see if I could have lunch with them or meet them up. Notes, just anything about any notes you might have. If they have a web page, if you know their Facebook link, if you happen to know their birthday, their anniversary, the names of their husbands, children's, wives, whatever it is, you can put that here. And then I also like to put, when was the last time I reached out to them? Because some people you may want to reach out to on a regular basis. Other people, you may only want to reach out quarterly, maybe every 6 months, maybe once a year. And the reason you want to note when was the last time you contact them is because you don't want to reach out to people when you need them. You know, you want to reach out to people to say hello, to touch base, because if you ever do want to connect with them, you're not reaching out to them for a specific reason. You know, it's like you've been in communication with them. So I think it's a very nice gesture. So now I'm going to show you how to move these around and how to actually change them up. Let's say I want to, my name's Xochitl and it's a very uncommon name. And so maybe I want to add a column here that is going to say phonetic. And so I'm going to highlight it here because I want first name, last name. Maybe I want a phonetic pronunciation. So I'm going to go to where it says C because this is the column I want to add. And I'm going to right click. And then I am going to insert one column to the left. So I want to add that column there. So there it is. Now I'm going to click this cell here. Each little box is called a cell. And maybe I'm going to have the phonetic name. All right, there it is. Just as an example, I'll put in my information, phonetic name, we'll say Sochi, and then my phone number. And then you can put in email, and this might be too small. So you might need to lengthen this up. So you can just drag right where the cell ends and just move it over to the right. Meet, you can put, say we met on an online course, and maybe on Mission Builders. The reason you want to be somewhat specific here is because later on, if I remember that it was somebody I met on Mission Builders, and I can go to find, edit, and then find and replace. So let's say I want to find Mission and spell it correctly so you know what you're looking for, the right place. And then click find. You can't see it here, but see it highlighted that because that's where I have the word mission. And then if it wasn't me that I was looking for, but I was looking for somebody else, I would click find again, and it would take me to the next cell that has the word mission in it. And you just keep hitting find until you get to the person you're looking for. So you would add in all this information, but let's say you wanted to move the web page, or maybe you wanted before you met. So you're gonna take and highlight this whole column, and you're going to right click and you're going to cut it, and then you're going to insert it here before address. So you're going to right click on where you want it and insert. We're going to insert the column, and then I'm going to right click again and I'm going to paste the web page. So now I have the web page here, and then this column is blank. So I could delete this column by right clicking and then hitting delete, and now it's gone from there. And again, you can make it longer. If you happen to know their birthday, you can put that in there. So this is how you can move things around. And if you want to make it pretty, because I do like to make my stuff just not look so boring, I will highlight, I would come over here to the number 1, which has my categories. And then I'm going to make this bold. And maybe instead of using 10 font, I'm going to make it 14 font so that it looks bigger. And maybe I want to add a little background color, be something like this. So you just changed up the look of the spreadsheet just by adding a little bit of color. And then, yeah, this is going to be, all right. And let's say the 10, this is size 10 is too small. I'm actually going to make the whole sheet larger to, let's say, like a 12. So when I did that, it changed my headings to a size 12 because I clicked up here to get the entire sheet done. So now I'm going to go back to to line number 1, and I'm going to enlarge it to size 14. There it is. Now if I like to also have these centered, so I still have my entire line 1 highlighted. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to align it to the center, and see now everything is centered. So phonetic name is totally smashed up. So there it is. And we'll need some more room for the phone number. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. Oh, here's something that I also want to show you. Let's say, how did you meet? We met on Mission Builders, and let's say it was in September 2022. Okay, well, you see how this moved over into the web page section? Well, I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is, for my entire F column, I'm going to do what is called wrapping. So I'm going to come to formatting, and I'm going to wrap, and I am going to, all the overflow recurrently, it just goes into the next cell. So I'm going to wrap it, and watch what happens. It made this column wider so that all of this would fit. So if I've got a really long paragraph, it's going to make it this long. At this point, I don't want everything on the bottom. I like to have everything centered. So I'm going to highlight row number 2, and I am going to come here to the horizontal alignment, and I'm going to, the vertical alignment, and I want this right in the middle. So there it is. See, so now that just looks more appealing to the eye. Makes it easier to look at, and I can grab the cell here, move it up to make it a little more narrow. And I think that's all you need to know for this particular teaching on how to use a contact list. If you want to add more columns, just come over to the right. This one, I'm going to merge and merge and wrap. So I'm going to wrap this. There we go. Maybe the family names too. Again, you could do this for each individual cell, or you can do it for the entire row. And then here, I just noticed that my vertical alignment is not centered. So there we go. Now it's centered. You can keep adding more over here. I don't know if you need to know their shoe size. You know, whatever it is. Just go ahead, have fun with it. Anything that applies to you, just edit. If you have any questions, please let us know. Bye-bye.